Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 68 of Brat Said That. I am your host, Brat Jackson, along with my co-producer, Chad LGBT, who is back from Paris, France. What a crazy few days it has been. I will be honest with you. Listen, I don't even know where to start. Obviously, we're going to start inside the squared circle because that's how we start off every single show. But can I just say what we witnessed last night was the greatest comeback I've ever seen in my life. Yes, I am talking about those New York Knicks overcoming not a 10-point deficit, not a 15-point deficit, not a 22-25, a 29-point deficit to come back and win and take a commanding 3-1 lead over the San Antonio Spurs. But we're not there just yet. We're going to get to the NBA section where I'm so excited. I am so... What a series it's been. We just finished watching, Babe and I, we just finished watching the Golden Knights lose Game 5. They are down 3-2. But they're going to come back in a few days to Vegas, tie it up, and then go back to Carolina and become a Stanley Cup champion once again. But let's start off inside the squared circle because it is Thursday. We haven't even talked about Raw. Raw was on Monday. We got to go back a couple of days and talk about what happened on Raw from Paris, France. Yes, they were, they've been not stuck there. They've been doing the European shows, ever since, what was that show that they just had a Clash in Italy? They've been in, Belgium and Paris. Becky Lynch is not having a good time. Every time, she's at a fancy dinner, not having a good time. She can't enjoy it. She's at the, statues in Rome, not having a good time. But let's talk about Raw. Let's talk about Monday. I hope everybody had a great week so far. Before we start, I want to give a big shout out. Happy birthday to the captain, QB1 of SWA, Johnny Malloy. Jerry, you are now 38. Congratulations, because you're 5 days and a year born before me. So we're never the same age. Anyway, happy birthday. Hope you're doing good. Hope everybody's doing good. But let's talk about it. Let's talk about Raw. Comes in. We got the King and Queen of the Ring tournament going hot. Next week, we have Dominic Mysterio taking Oba Femi. And Dominic and the Judgment Day try to get a little jump tag on Oba Femi. JD McDougal came out, slapped Oba with the chair. Didn't move the ruler. Oba wiped that off. And pretty much beat up JD McDonough and Dominic Mysterio. I think it's going to be Oba and Javon Evans in the finals. Liv Morgan, yes, the WWE World Women's Champion. She is in the tournament. She wants to not only become the WWE Women's Champion, which she already is, she wants to become the WWE Women's Champion. Those two names are very alike, but they're different. She defeated Alexa Bliss, Becky Lynch, and Chelsea Green in the Fatal 4-Way to advance. So we got her a little bit of a, tension inside the Judgment Day because you got Raquel and you got Raquel and Roxanne. I kind of combined those names. They're still in the tournament, and it looks like maybe Raquel and Liv in the finals. Hey, listen, Triple H, I'm just saying. Then you got Soroka. She defeated Bird Lady. Lila Valkyria to retain the WWE Women's Intercontinental Champion. LA Knight and Jey Uso going at it. Yeah. What? Yeah. Have a match. Wrestle. Shut up and wrestle. A dream match, though. Penta defeated Rey Mysterio Jr. No, he's not Rey Mysterio Jr. anymore. He's Rey Mysterio. He's been Rey Mysterio for the last 25 years. Dream match. 619. But, unfortunately, Ricky saying, what the fuck happened, actually? With the crowd rocking, Mysterio hit a sunset flip into the barricade. Why is he not telling me what happened afterwards? Because anyways, I remember Rusev came out, and Ethan Page came out. And then Chad Gable, who's doing his little, apology tour, he apologized to Menta. He apologized to Rey Mysterio now. So that's going to be good. I'm very looking forward to Chad Gable doing more Chad Gable stuff. And Javon Evans defeated Seth Rollins, Ricky Saints, and Tala Tonga. Tala Tonga, they're pushing him to the moon, pushing him as tall as he is. But Javon Evans did move on in the King of the Ring. Seth Rollins said the Vision is no more, but the Vision cost him the match. But Montez Ford came out, helped Seth Rollins, so the Seth Rollins Vision feud is far from over. Far from over. But that was Raw. It was good. Very good Raw. Chad Gable makes a man with Penta, Rey Mysterio. Jacob Fatu, though. Yes, I got to talk about Jacob Fatu. So we all know Jacob Fatu lost the Tribal Combat match against Roman Reigns in Clash in Italy. Jacob acknowledged Roman. He did. But he didn't acknowledge the Usos. So when the Usos says, Jacob, go do their dirty work, you ain't the tribal chief, Jay. You ain't the head of the table there, Jimmy. He only listens to Roman, which is good. That's going to cause a little ripple in the bloodline for the umpteenth time. But that was Raw. Very good Raw. We're going to move on, though. Nice little Raw recap. Forbidden Door, though. He comes back from Paris and he doesn't know how to work a soundboard. Forbidden Door is in a few weeks. That show looks to be stacked. I don't know, because I don't watch AEW, but I know Forbidden Door is coming up. And they added a few matches. So a steel cage match. Wow. Mark Briscoe and 5 TBAs. The TBA is very busy lately. Versus MJF and the Don Callis family. One of them is Kevin Knight. So it's going to be a 5-on-5 steel cage match. That's going to be good. If Briscoe team wins, he will earn an AEW World Championship match against MJF. Oh, please. Please, let's get Mark Briscoe as world champion. I don't think he was ever the world champion in Ring of Honor. I think that was more Jay. But I would love to see Mark Briscoe, a legend, become AEW champion. Then you got Kenny Omega versus Zack Sabre Jr. in a dream match. Wow. I might not like Tony Schiavone, but you cannot deny that Kenny Omega versus Zack Sabre Jr. is a match every single person wants to see. So that is a huge matchup. And plus, it adds very well with the Forbidden Door. Kenny Omega being the face of AEW. And Zack Sabre Jr. being an absolute legend in New Japan. Then the finals of the Owen Hart Cup. We got Ospreay versus Strickland. I think we all saw that coming. That's going to be another phenomenal match. And then the Women's Owen Hart Cup Final. So it's down to Hazuki, Mercedes Moné, Athena, and Maya World. So what happened here? Sabre was originally scheduled to face Sky Blue, but was removed from the match due to injury and replaced with Maya World. I don't know too much about Maya World, but she seems to be getting a little bit of traction. Like, I'm hearing her name more and more. Kind of a weird name, though, Maya World. She's from Greenville, Texas. She was a Ring of Honor woman. Reality of wrestling, so that makes sense. Booker T down in Texas. So I think Mercedes Moné and Athena, you have Athena winning. Plus, not only is she the longest reigning Ring of Honor Women's Champion, she will probably become the AEW Women's Champion because that is going to be an All-In, which is in August. Wow, so you have a tournament ending in June with the winner fighting for the belt in August. That's a long time. But what an insane match that is. I'm looking forward to Will Ospreay versus or Kenny Omega versus Zack Sabre Jr. A little bit of The Undertaker. Yes, everybody's favorite wrestler is over Grady somewhere. He loves The Undertaker. Undertaker's getting praise for his booking of AAA. One of the more surprising stories of 2026 is a praise being directed by The Undertaker for his creative work with AAA. Following WWE's acquisition of the promotion, several wrestling veterans have spoken highly of his storytelling-focused approach. Well, hey, listen. He's one of the greatest wrestlers of all time. Definitely one of the greatest characters of all time. So I'm sure that's going to trickle down to how to book a show. So good for The Undertaker. Good for AAA. Good for AEW. Good for WWE. Good time to be a wrestling fan. Now, I know there's all tribalism, all this promotion, that promotion, AEW and WWE, all that. Dude, we got so much wrestling. You got WWE, TNA, NXT, Ring of Honor, AEW. You got all the indies, MLW's doing hot. shut up and enjoy wrestling. All right? But we are going to go back to week 3 of the NWO Chronicles. If you have not been here for the last 3 weeks, we've talked about Scott Hall making his shocking WCW debut. Then the next week or the week after, I don't remember. I think it was a week after. You have Kevin Nash coming out as the big guy, as the right-hand man, and saying, hey, we're here to take over. Week 3, we're going to go all the way to the Great American Bash, June 16th, my birthday, 1996, at the Great American Bash pay-per-view, in a bid to dissuade the WWF from filing a lawsuit. Eric Bischoff asks Hall and Nash if they are operating on behalf of the World Wrestling Federation. The answer is no. No, they're not. However, Hall says that they aren't going to live in the past before once again performing in his past gimmick. This is from, I don't remember what website I use this. It goes day by day or week by week of the NWO, so I'm not coming up with this. Hall continues to reference WCW characters. The WWF proceeds with the suit, which drags on and is eventually settled out of court, which is good. The Bash angle is incredible. Hall demands to learn the identities of the 3 men who would challenge the Outsiders, Hall and Nash, and their secret partner in their 6-man hostile takeover match at Bash on the Beach, which I had the shirt on, but I took it off because I'm freezing in this room. The WWF, this displeases Hall and Nash because Bischoff is like, hey, we're doing on Nitro. This pisses off Hall and Nash so much that Nash puts Bischoff through the stage with a jackknife powerbomb. Dope. Dope for Eric Bischoff to get physical. During this time, the table spot had only been introduced to Main Street audiences in November, which is crazy if you really think about it. Not too many people were going through tables back in the 90s. I know like Bret Hart went through one, or like Shawn Michaels went through one, but in WCW, I don't remember too many people going through tables. So this is leading towards Bash at the Beach 1996. Who is the mystery man? We don't know, but right now it is Hall and Nash. They're taking over, and they said they have a 3rd partner. So that is the NWO Chronicles for now. We'll do a little recap when we get to Bash at the Beach, but really the main show isn't about wrestling. It's not. I love talking about wrestling. I'll talk about wrestling forever, but we are 3 days away from one of the biggest spectacle in all of combat sports. The UFC White House is happening this Sunday, and they have the claw. It's all set up. It is ready to go. The only thing stopping that is Mother Nature herself. But let's talk about the UFC White House card. We got to make our predictions because we're not going to be on before the card. So this is it, It's not a long card, so we can do every fight. We can talk about them. This is going to take up a good chunk of the time because I want to talk about UFC Freedom 250. If you don't know, yes, they're having an event on the White House lawn on Trump's birthday. We will definitely talk a lot about him in the sports world. But, it's a good card. It's not the card that they promised. It's not the card I think they want. But it's a card that works. It is really just a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 match card. 2 championships, 1 interim, 1, world championship. So, we can start from the bottom. Diego Lopez versus Steve Garcia. Diego Lopez coming off 2 losses to Alexander Volkanovski. One in April 2025. Then he wins against Gene Silva. And then he loses to Volkanovski. So this is his first fight after losing the UFC Featherweight Championship opportunity. Steve Garcia, though, should not be considered lightly. He's on a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 fight win streak, and he's looking good too. He's looking good. I wouldn't be surprised if you see an upset by Steve Garcia over Diego Lopez in this fight. So I'm gonna pick Steve Garcia. Brat Said That. Next up, Bo Nickel in a middleweight fight. He is facing Kyle Dawkins. Now, Bo Nickel, not a big fan of. Not really the biggest Bo Nickel fan. I think we talked about him for a few times. He did lose to Rene the Riddler in May of 2025. Bounced back with a heck of a head kick in November of last year. But, he's been doing that real American freestyling a lot. His opponent, Kyle Dawkins, he's on a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 fight win streak. A huge win over Gerard Marichal and Michael Vieira. So this is his first fight in 2026. Don't sleep on Kyle Dawkins. He's got the experience, He's been in there. He's fought in the UFC since 2020. I mean, he got cut. Cage Fury won their championship and is back in his second or third stint. But I think Bo Nickel is going to pull this out. Mauricio Ruffy, he's taking on Michael Chandler. Michael Chandler, who is still, I swear, I will tell you right now, Michael Chandler is going to, if he wins that fight, if he wins, he's going to call it Connor. If he loses, he's going to retire. Brat said that. Tell your friends, call him up. But Mauricio Ruffy, though, he is 12-2, came off a big win over Rafael Frazis before losing to, he lost to Benoit Saint Denis, who's fighting up in a few days or a few weeks in July. And, he's 13-2. Michael Chandler, though, he is, do you put him in the legend category? He has a fighting resume, Bellator fights, never been the UFC champion, fought for a title once or twice, but, lost the last few fights, Poirier, Oliveira, and Paddy Pimblett. I think Mauricio Ruffy is going to win against Michael Chandler, and Michael Chandler is going to call it a career. Now, this fight was made just right after Josh Hokic became 9-0 over Curtis Blades back in April in a fight of the night and performance of the night fight against Curtis Blades in UFC 327. He is facing Derek Lewis, the big black beast. But Derek Lewis did not look good his last fight. Not at all. You cannot say that was a prime Derek Lewis performance with a huge loss to Wardo Cortez Acosta in January. But I think everybody wants Derek Lewis to knock out Josh Hokic. And so do I. Josh Hokic is a Bratwurst winner. But we'll see. His antics are still taking over, and he's still, I don't know. But my heart says Lewis, but I think Hokic gets it. He's a wrestler too. Derek Lewis doesn't do very good with wrestlers. But let's go with Derek Lewis. I gotta go with Derek Lewis. Then you got Sugar Sean O'Malley. He's coming off a huge win over Song Yadong after losing 2 fights to Merab for the UFC Bantamweight Championship. I think he's going to take on, or he's obviously going to take on Ahmed Zahabi. Zahabi is 14-2 with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 wins in a row. So, listen, I know they got the names that can do it versus the up and comers. Like you got Diego Lopez, who is established, but Steve Garcia, he's on a good fight win streak. Bo Nickel, he's got that name to him, the wrestling, everything. But Kyle Dawkins, make a name for himself. Ruffy, Chandler, Hokic, Lewis, O'Malley, Zahabi. But I think O'Malley is going to win this fight. And the huge co-main event is Alex Pereira trying to get not his 1, not 2, but third championship. Former UFC middleweight champion, former UFC light heavyweight champion, is vacating the title to move up to take on Cyril Gane. Yes, challenge LGBT. I know you're going crazy for Cyril Gane, but we have not seen Cyril Gane since that eye poke to Tom Aspinall in October that took the cells out of all of the fights. Holy crap. I think that whole show won a Bratwurst Award. Pereira's trying to make history. Nobody in UFC history has won 3 championships. And I think Pereira does it. I think Alex Pereira does win against Cyril Gane and goes on to face Aspinall when Aspinall gets healthy. And in the big main event, Ilia Topuria, the lightweight champion of the world, is taking on Justin Gaethje, the interim lightweight champion. Ilia Topuria, 17-0, the undisputed UFC lightweight champion. He was the undisputed UFC featherweight champion, coming off a huge win. Actually, you know what? He hasn't fought in almost a year. I mean, he's still in his prime. He's still able to take a year off, but still. Last fought June 20th, 2005, knocking out Charles Oliveira. Now he's fighting June 14th. That's a long time. That's a long time. Justin Gaethje just came off a huge win against Paddy Pimblett to win the UFC interim lightweight championship. But Justin Gaethje, he's failed many times. You know, he's failed against Khabib. He's failed against Charles. He failed against Max Holloway. So I think Ilia makes it 18-0. I really do. But overall, what can you say? What can you say about this card? It is wrapped in controversy. Sean Strickland is not invited. He's banned. He is invited. He's not going. Who's going to be there? They got it all set up. Is the rain going to happen? I looked at, I don't know if it was AI or, because now everything now is AI. I'm AI. You know, I'm a actual 47-year-old Filipino lady. This is just AI. No. Like, what's going to happen? You know, we talked about the lawsuit last show. Doesn't look like anything's going to happen. Zack Brown is going to sing the national anthem at the event. That's cool. And, yeah, I think they're going to have the walkouts happen from the Oval Office. It's insane. It's absolutely insane what they're going to do. And, you know, we talked about it. How we thought it wasn't going to happen, and I said it since day one. They're not going to have a fight on the White House lawn, but apparently the way this country is, they're going to have a fight on the White House lawn. Not a lighthouse. I just yawned and my ears popped. You know, it's supposed to be anniversary, 250th anniversary of the United States, Declaration of Independence, but I think it's more for Trump. Who's going to be in attendance? I know the president's going to be there. Dana White's going to be in there. So we will see. We gave out predictions. Overall, let's do a quick recap. Ilia Topuria is going to retain, become 18-0. Ospreay is going to win the UFC interim heavyweight championship. Sean O'Malley's going to win. I want Derek Lewis to win, but mine says Josh Hokic. I think Ruffy and Nickel and Steve Garcia. That is what I think is going to happen, but we will see. I want to do a show on the 14th, depending when I work, because I want to get back on track. But we might do a watch-along for the main event. You know, I think that would be kind of cool. And, yeah, so I don't think there's any other really big fights happening in the world. No PFL, no nothing. I know there's like some weird boxing fight with like Eddie Hall versus Tommy Fury, but I don't think anybody really cares for that. That fight is Saturday. Yeah, Tommy Fury, 11-0. He's gonna fight Eddie the Beast Hall, who is a huge man. A 6-round exhibition bout. It's not officially affect either fighter's professional record. So this is just for fun. Yeah, so that's cool. Anyway, you know what else is cool? The Chicago White Sox are in first place. Yes, I said the Chicago White Sox are in first place. Yeah, Chicago White Sox in first place. I'm so excited. They are doing great. And when I say great, doing much better than they have the last few years. Murakami is still out, but it doesn't seem to matter. We are going to go to the power rankings, though. ESPN has once again posted their power rankings of the season. And let's check out how the team's doing. This was 17 hours ago. You know, the Cardinals, White Sox on the rise, of course. Number one team, though, is the Atlanta Braves, 45-23. Number two, Los Angeles Dodgers. Milwaukee Brewers, moving up. Looking good. You know, I did pick them to be in the World Series last year. You know, they're still in a good spot. The New York Yankees, 41-26. Tampa Bay Rays, 40-25. Then we got the Phillies, the Mariners, the Guardians, the Cardinals, and the Pirates in the top 10. The Cubs, the Diamondbacks, and the White Sox, too. Rangers and the Padres. The bottom half, though, the Blue Jays, Nationals, Orioles, the Athletics that have no team that will be here soon. The Astros, which is always good to see the Astros do bad. The Miami Marlins, even though it's a 5-game win streak, they're still number 21. The Reds, the Mets are not doing good. Come on now. 28, not doing so good. Boston Red Sox, always good to see them do bad. The Tigers, the Twins, the Giants, the Royals, the Angels, the Rockies, and that is it. So, the White Sox are right there in the middle of the pack, a little above 13. We're looking really good. Murakami, Miguel Vargas, Davis Martin, Carlson Montgomery, Tristan Peters. Yes, let's do it. We need some good. There was somebody on Twitter, and I'm always going to call it Twitter, which is like, you know, they have like all the teams, and it's like how your team is. And it's like, the White Sox have been spoiled. Spoiled with what? Milk? That's what they've been playing like. But that is it. I wanted to talk about this, though. Max Scherzer, the Blue Jays Max Scherzer, Hall of Famer in the future. He is now the 11th player to have 3,500 strikeouts. So good for Max Scherzer. I've always liked the pitchers. You know, if I can throw straight, I would have been a pitcher. But I want to look at, like, the pitchers. Like, who has 3,000 strikeouts? I think that would be cool because, you know, I know, like, the number one, you know, you got Nolan Ryan with 5,700 strikeouts, which is absolutely insane. Randy Johnson, 4,800 strikeouts. Roger Clemens, 4,600 strikeouts. Steve Carlton, 4,100 strikeouts. Bert Bliveland, I've never heard of this guy. I should, because he is 3,700 strikeouts for the Twins. Tom Seaver, of course, legendary Met. Don Sutton, Dodgers, Justin Verlander, Gaylord Perry, Walter Johnson, and now Max Scherzer. And let me tell you something about this. Out of the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. This is the top, what is this? This is everybody with 3,000 strikeouts. Only Clayton Kershaw, Max Scherzer, Justin Verlander are not in the Hall of Fame. Clayton's going to be in the Hall of Fame. The other two, and Max and Verlander when they retire. Roger Clemens is not in the Hall of Fame, and neither is Curt Schilling. And I don't think they ever will be, which is horrible, because I don't want to get in the PED debate, but damn, we need to do something about that. But speaking about that, guys, boys, ladies and gentlemen, the Knicks are up 3-1. Yes, in one of the most insane comebacks of ever. The Knicks come back from a 29-point deficit, the largest comeback in NBA Finals history. Defeating the Spurs 107 and 106 on OG Anunoby's tip in with 1.2 seconds remaining. I didn't get to watch I did watch a game when I got off of work. I went to the comedy club. Wise guys, check it out. Favorite place in the world. We were watching it before the show starts. It was like 72-26, and we're like, damn. Show starts. You know, the screens go black. You know, I'm of course watching the comedians, paying respect. You know, but I'm checking my phone too. You know, when they like intermission, you know, when one comedian comes off the stage and the other one's about to start, I'll check my phone, and I keep seeing the Knicks come back. They're back. They're coming down. 15 points, 10 points. Then I see a bunch of other comedians looking at their phones, and I'm just like, I'm gonna join them. We're gonna watch this. We watched it together. The Knicks come back to win. First time. I don't remember the last time they won an MSG in the finals. I don't think they won in 99. But, geez, now they're up 3-1 series, and we were just one game. Well, not we, I'm not a part of the team. But the New York Knicks are just one game away from the NBA Finals championship. First championship in 1973. Now, Brat, why are they 3-1? Because they lost game 4. Yes, their first game in MSG, they lost. We talked about it last show. We talked about the distractions. We talked about the El Presidente being there and, the security, the vibe and everything. They're shutting down the city of New York. They lost. Yes, they lost to the Spurs. And I'm going to blame it on Donald Trump. Now, I don't get political on the show. Okay, if you know me, you know where I stand politically. But when it comes to sports, and I am the president of this show, I am the commander-in-chief of Brat Said That franchise. So Donald Trump, for you being there, for your presence, for you falling asleep, for you eating fries, for you even probably leaving before the game over, and causing the Knicks to break their 13-game housing streak, Donald J. Trump, you are the Bratwurst Award winner this week. Yes, you are the Bratwurst Award winner of the week. Yes. But yeah, let's be honest though, the Knicks coming back last night was absolutely insane. What a absolute game. Now, I know a lot of people like De'Aaron Fox. He should have not went for the layup with 1.9 seconds left or something. And it caused them the Spurs to lose the game. No. De'Aaron Fox did not cause the Spurs to lose the game. The Spurs blowing a 29-point lead caused them to lose the game. So, the next game is going to be Sunday. So, man, I'll be honest. The next game's Saturday. So, the Sunday show, we might have a new NBA champion in the New York Knicks. Now, I'll be honest, I said this before, I kind of want the Spurs to win in San Antonio just for the Knicks to come back on my birthday in MSG and win the finals then. But, hey, good for the Knicks. Good for Jalen Brunson. Good for, what is his name? Jose Alvarado. Coming off the bench, looking great, showcases his talent. Just a great player for the team. So, we are going to see what happens because that's how life works. Unfortunately, we did just see Vegas lose. They're down 2-3 in the Stanley Cup. Carolina looks really good. I don't know what it is, but the Vegas did not look good today. Vegas went all in and they flopped, if I can use a gambling term. So Vegas got to do something. There are 2 games break before they head back to Vegas because it's 2-2, 1-1-1. So yeah, 4-2 win today for the Carolina Hurricanes. They come back to Vegas Sunday, June 14th. So the next time we're on June 14th, we might have a new NBA champion and we might have a new Stanley Cup champion. Hopefully we don't. Hopefully we celebrate. I don't think I'm going to have a show on my birthday. But I would like to have a show on my birthday. I mean, I'm going to be off. I don't know. But we need to do something because right now the Golden Knights are not looking like a bunch of mischiefs. They're looking like something. Carter Hart not doing so good. This 3 shots on goals. And then the Hurricanes, though, is just Gostifear. Stahl's looking good. Let's see, who scored today? Jankowski, Logan Stankoven. Not Stankoven, Stankoven. That's going to suck having a name like that, Stankoven. Jordan Stahl's looking good. They're Frederick Anderson. So, yeah, I'm going to say we because Vegas, and I'm part Vegas. We need to do something, or else we're out. We are out. Speaking about not being out, former Las Vegas Raider wide receiver Henry Ruggs III was denied parole Thursday, nearly 5 years after a drunken driving crash that killed 23-year-old Tina Tintor and her dog in Las Vegas. So he was denied parole. He is going to be eligible for parole again back in who gives a shit. So you do the crime, you pay the time. Because that is absolutely disgusting. I remember, obviously, it was huge news out here. Why did I just sound like Kermit the Frog? So, let's see. Henry Ruggs III. I'm trying to get when his next parole is eligible. He'll probably get denied. So, let's see. Parole again on August 24th, 2027, and appear before the Nevada Board of Parole Commissions next May. So, yeah, he's in there for a little bit longer, which rightfully so. Speaking about being in a little bit longer, Broncos reward coach Sean Payton with a new 5-year contract. Good for him. You know, Broncos made it this close to the Super Bowl, but Mother Nature had another plan for them. Apparently, Mother Nature was a Patriots fan because we all remember that AFC Championship game. Ugh. But good for Sean Payton. But, you know, for the biggest thing going on right now is the FIFA World Cup. And we're going to talk every game. Because right now, it started today. Group A, Mexico with a huge win over South Africa 2-0. And South Korea is playing Chechnya right now. And South Korea is up 2-1. I think in the 82nd minute. I don't know how many minutes are in soccer. Football, but United States is playing tomorrow. It's Paraguay, and Canada is playing against Bosnia and wow, that is a tough country to say. Bosnia and Herzegovina. So yeah, the World Cup has begun. This is all the group stages, and then we're gonna get to the round of 16, we're going to get into the round of 8, round of 32, then the round of 16, then the third place, we're going to get all to that. We got a month of the FIFA World Cup. My predictions for this show, obviously, I want America to win. America to win. But we pick who we think is going to win. And, of course, with my co-producer being a Frenchman, he is picking France to win. And France, let's see, they play on my birthday. So Tuesday, June 16th, we will see how France does against Senegal. But yeah, so once it gets to the round of 32, 16, we'll make our predictions. But we're going to get to the miscellaneous part of the show because I don't think any other sports thing is happening. I'll check the Twitter real quick. See if any breaking news happened, but I don't think anything did. Nothing in wrestling happened. We're looking good. Obviously, we talked about UFC Freedom 250 taking on the White House. Knicks pull off their largest finals comeback ever, taking 3-2 lead. Vince McMahon is trending. Well, let's see why Vince McMahon is trending. It looks like Vince McMahon is... Oh, shit. Don't tell me this is happening. Well, obviously, no, he's not dying or anything, but... Okay, we're just a few weeks away from the Benoit tragedy, which we're going to have to talk about. I think that's why Vince McMahon is trending 19 years ago today. The infamous segment in WWE history happened when Vince McMahon got into his limo and it exploded. So, yeah, that led to... something that we didn't know was going to happen, and the Benoit tragedy ended that whole storyline. So we're going to talk about that in a few weeks. Some days I forget that happened, and yeah. Anyway, let's talk about some miscellaneous stuff. We're going to talk a little bit of movies and TV and life. So, as you know, not only am I big into sports, I'm big into movies, television, music, and criminal justice. And we have to talk about the conviction of Karmelo Anthony. Yes, Karmelo Anthony. On Tuesday, a jury sentenced 19-year-old Karmelo Anthony to 35 years for the first-degree murder after he stabbed 17-year-old Austin Metcalf once in the chest during a rain delay at a Frisco high school track meet on April 2nd, 2025. Witnesses said Anthony entered a rival team's tent, ignored requests to leave, threatened them, and stabbed Metcalf when grabbed during an escort out. Anthony claimed self-defense, but the jury rejected it after 3 hours of deliberation. Both families shared emotional statements, with Metcalf's parents expressing profound loss and rage, while online reactions brought death threats and harassment to them amid debates over race and accountability. Definitely a sad situation for every single person in that horrible incident. This is a race thing. I don't think it should be. I think it should be about a moral thing, and 35 years is a lot for. But that's not a lot for the family of Austin Metcalf, and that is a lifetime for the family for Karmelo Anthony. It's like these things I wish never happened. I wish these things would never happen. We don't need to get into it. I mean, obviously we're going to get into it. But, I know people, it kind of reminds me of, kind of like the OJ situation. I was a little bit too young for this, and that actually happened. By the way, I'm going to switch back to sports. There is a great documentary that we should talk about. June 14th, 1994, which shows so much stuff happening on that day in the world of sports. It reminded me of the OJ situation, where it's more race-related. But, all I can say is rest in peace to Austin Metcalf. If justice is served to Karmelo Anthony, may justice be served. Or, sad situation, and it just sucks. But it is a hot topic, and I want to talk about it. And I wanted to just, tell you what I think. I heard that, for the justice is down. No matter what happens. I heard some stuff that maybe Karmelo Anthony was getting bullied or self-defense, but, the jury went out and said he's guilty. So, I don't think the kid's going to spend 35 years in prison, but he will spend a chunk in prison. So, moving on, though. I want to move on to something happier. 19 years ago yesterday was the finale of The Sopranos. And yes, I love The Sopranos. It is one of my favorite television series of all time. I'm not going to talk all about The Sopranos because it takes a lot to talk about. But we're going to talk about the final. Tony is in the diner with the family. Okay? AJ and Karmelo come in. They're talking. Journey's Don't Stop Believing's playing on the jukebox. Every time somebody comes in the diner, Tony looks up. Tony looks up. There's a gentleman in a members-only jacket who comes in. You see him going to the bathroom. Next scene, Tony looks up, and it cuts to black. Is Tony dead or is Tony alive? Now, there are hot topics on all social media for the last 19 years. Is Tony dead or is Tony alive? So, I asked my producer, give me the theory. Is Tony dead? The most popular interpretation. Okay. Throughout the final season, characters do discuss how death often comes without warning. You probably don't even hear it when it comes. And yes, it's cutting to black. Is that Tony's? That's what it means. The camera repeatedly focuses on the suspicious members-only jacket guy, who we did say he head towards the bathroom, but in other shots you do see him. You do see him clearly looking. You get a good view of him. The final cut is black to sudden, permanent. We will never see Tony react. That's true. Series creator David Chase has made comments over the years that many fans interpret as confirmation that Tony was killed. Under this theory, the audience expressed Tony's death from Tony's perspective. 1 second is eating onion rings, the next, nothing. Theory number 2, Tony survived. Evidence. We never actually see it. We never see a shooting. The finale emphasizes that Tony will always live under constant paranoia and threat, which is true. The tension in the diner may simply be showing that this is Tony's life now. Every door opening could be an assassination. Well, with his rivalry with New York, who knows? Chase has also resisted giving a definite on-screen answer, suggesting ambiguity was intentional. Under this theory, the cut to black means life goes on, but Tony can never relax. Now, here's what I would have done. Okay? Look at me. I'm doing my arm thing. I'm getting ready. Alright. This is what I would have done, okay? Yes, they did the spinoff or whatever, Many Saints of Newark, that came out like 4 years ago. Wasn't very good. But shout out to Michael Gandolfini for playing Tony, young Tony. It's narrated by Christopher Moltisanti. You know him. Tony's nephew who dies, I think, in either that episode or the episode before, or maybe a few episodes earlier. I don't remember. They showed Christopher's grave. Here lies Christopher Moltisanti. If they would have just panned out and it showed Tony Soprano's grave, 1960 whatever to 2007, that would confirm that Tony died in that diner. But we don't know. Let's see. Theory number 3. The ending doesn't matter. Some fans believe the point isn't whether Tony lives or dies. The real ending is that his family is fractured, his crew is devastated, the mob life is dying, and Tony has been trapped in a cycle of anxiety, violence, and isolation. Whether he dies in the diner or 6 months later is almost beside the point. Let's be honest. Rest in peace, James Gandolfini, one of the greatest characters of all time. In the life of the world in Sopranos 2026, Tony Soprano would have been dead. He would have been dead by now. The ending was in real time 2007. He would have been dead by now. Especially the Gabagool. The Gabagool would have got him. This is Chad Liberty saying, the Tony dies of Halston's interpretation has the most evidence behind it and fits the visual language of the finale. But the reason people still debate it nearly 20 years later is that the show never gives the certainty viewers expected. The ending works because it leaves you feeling exactly like Tony, always waiting for the next big thing, then black. A lot of talk about the TV just going black and people thinking that they missed the finale. I want something to the AI Tony's death. I think that would be, obvious, the best part. But I think right here, I think Tony dies in that diner. Gets shot by the members only, Carmelo's not shot, AJ's not shot, Meadow sees it right as she enters. I'm surprised there isn't an AI version of that, but, yeah. I think Tony lives, or I think Tony dies. What am I saying? I think Tony dies. But, this is a weird day because I wanted to talk about, The Sopranos, the final episode. But also, today is the day this movie, E.T., did come out. And I love E.T. I think E.T. is a great movie. It was, if you've never seen E.T., okay, this is from ChatGPT, so I can tell you exactly how everything works. E.T., 1982. A friendly alien gets accidentally left behind on Earth when his spaceship takes off without him. Luckily, he's discovered by a boy named Elliot, who decides to hide him in his house instead of calling the authorities. I think that's adorable. Elliot and his siblings, which is Drew Barrymore, blend in while trying to figure out how to take him back home. Along the way, E.T. learns about Earth, develops a psychic connection with Elliot, gets drunk on beer, and becomes one of the most beloved characters ever. Things take a turn when the government agents discover E.T. and take him into custody. E.T. becomes seriously ill. Elliot gets sick too because of their connection. Oh, that's cute. And for a moment, it looks like a little alien buddy isn't going to make it. But E.T. recovers, his spaceship returns, and in one of the most famous movie endings of all time, Elliot and his friends help him escape the authorities on bicycles, which we just saw, and magically fly across the moonlight sky. Before leaving, E.T. points to Elliot's forehead and says, "I'll be right here." We all know E.T.'s E.T. phone home. Steven Spielberg, E.T. became the highest grossing movie of all time when it was released and remains one of the most beloved family films ever made. Alien gets stranded, befriends a kid, gets drunk, nearly dies, makes it bicycle fly emotionally devastates an entire generation, then phones home. Rating 5 out of 5 Reese's Pieces. So, yeah, I just wanted to talk about that, just because it's E.T., it's cute, it's Steven Spielberg, amazing actor, and it looks good on the thumbnail because Penny and I make a good Elliot and E.T. Let's see how much money it made. So, yeah, E.T., he's a cute little guy, Henry Thomas, Drew Barrymore. With $10.5 million, made $797.3 million. The film was added to the United States National Film Registry of Library of Congress. Culturally, historically, or I can't read that word, but yeah, Henry Thomas, Dee Wallace. Oh, Dee Wallace, I remember her. Drew Barrymore, Peter Coyote. So yeah, Steven Spielberg did great. The soundtrack was great too. You hear the flying theme. I can't play it all because I don't want to be copyright, but the release is good. I'm gonna watch this. I just looked at like E.T. season of the Madame Tussauds. Accolades received by E.T. Let's see, Academy Award, won nominated for Best Picture. Wow, Best Director nominated, won Best Original Score, Sound Effects, Best Sound, Best Visual Sound. Won a Grammy for Best Instrumental Composition. Saturn Awards, Young Artist Awards. I think this is like Drew Barrymore's first movie. Is it, right? Drew Barrymore? Drew Barrymore's a hell of an actress. By the way, if you ever watched Drew Barrymore, she was once married to Tom Green. Oh, second movie ever. They're still in love with each other. They're still in love. I watched it recently. But that's it, guys. That's been a really good show. I think nobody's been on the chat. But hey, I'm pushing these out. 68, not going to stop anytime soon. So get your friends to sign up and follow me on the Instagram. And before we go, I am doing a huge show today. Not today. This Saturday. The Notoriety on Fremont Street. Laugh or trash. It's going to be great. I did an open mic yesterday at Wise Guys, my favorite place in the world. Like I said, it went good. Tried new material, open mics. But let's do a little recap. We're all happy in France. We are just moving into the king and queen of the ring. Forbidden Door is looking great. Ospreay is Strickland in the finals. Zack, Sabre Jr. and Kenny Omega looks great. Undertaker is getting praised for being the booker of AAA. NWA Week 3, we are going to lead up to Bash at the Beach 1996. The White House card is happening this Sunday. I can't believe I'm saying that. We're going to go live Sunday. Brat Said That, and for the main event, we're going to do a watch-along power rankings. So first place, White Sox. And congrats to Max Scherzer on 3,500 strikeouts. The Knicks are one win away from the finals. It's insane. They would have won it and swept if it wasn't for Donald Trump, who got the Bratwurst Award this week. Vegas is down 3-2 against Carolina. Vegas has to go all in these next two games. Henry Ruggs III denied parole. Good for you. Broncos rewards Sean Payton with 5-year contract extension. FIFA World Cup, Mexico leads early. We talked about Karmelo Anthony. We talked about The Sopranos. Does Tony live? Does Tony die? And we talked about E.T. But Brat Jackson is phoning home. He is heading out. Follow me on Twitter, Brat Said That X. Instagram, Brat Jackson, the Owen Jackson 0. YouTube, Brat Said That Tube. And Spotify, Brat Jackson. And don't forget, we are just 2 weeks away, or 3 weeks away on the 26th from WrestleMania 11. So we're going to check that out. We might even have the creators of WrestleMania on the show. But I'm getting off. By the way, guys, love each other. Love yourselves. Let's go, Knicks. I love sports. All right. E.T. go home. All right, bye, guys.